Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, Finn and Steffi react to Dylan's confession and Brooke disappoints Katie. As the episode begins, Dylan is still confessing to Finn and Steffi that she killed Luna. And even though Finn wanted nothing to do with his homicidal maniac daughter, he seems kinda pissed about it. At Spencer Publications, Bill sings Katie's praises to Liam to the point that he makes it sound like a wonder he ever closed a deal without her. At Forrester Creations, Ridge and Brooke are talking about how pretty she is. She also recaps that they are together again and remarried. Yup, we know, Brooke. Just then in comes Katie. After the opening credits, Liam and Bill pick up where they left off saying how amazing Katie is. Bill insists that his priorities were out of whack during his marriage to Katie. He wasn't there enough for her, as she raised Will. Liam insists that Dad's being too hard on himself. Is he, though? Anyway, Bill reiterates that he wants Katie to leave Forrester and bring Will over to Spencer. What Will brings to the table? I have no idea. Later, Bill checks his temper on a business call. Hey, that is demonstrable progress. Good on Bold and Beautiful for showing, not telling. Bill is even down with continuing the never-ending journey to self-improvement. He swears to Liam that he'll never break Katie's heart again. She deserves to be respected, Bill adds, especially at Forrester. Speaking of Forrester, at the design house, Ridge and Brooke are surprised that Katie came to the office. She does still work there, she says, doesn't she? From there, Ridge marvels that Bill has really stepped up for Will. Katie thanks her long-ago fiancé for acknowledging that and announces that she has some ideas to pitch. Brooke and Ridge aren't into Katie's plans. Robin and her team have already set a similar one in motion. MMK, but Katie's ready to return as head of PR.
Can she not?
What is it, she asks. Ridge and Brooke don't want to give Robin the boot right now.
Wow.
Why does Robin look so familiar? At the Cliff House, Elektra and Will seem to feel like they need to defend Dylan. I've never even had a speeding ticket, Dylan cries. I'm so sorry. Does anyone else not get this? She basically dropped a house on the Wicked Witch of the West, and now she's on some tear-stained apology tour. Where's her ticker tape parade? Finn shares that he has conflicting feelings about Luna, but he didn't wish her dead. One thing that I know is what Elektra just said, he adds. You are a wonderful person. Hayes adores you, and so do we. Steffi and I both believe you. Just like that, Finn forgives Dylan and they hug it out. Afterwards, Dylan and company recap her mistakes and remorse. Steffi won't let her beat herself up over being conned by Miss Sunshine. Does anyone see the point to this stuff? Are we supposed to feel bad for Luna now? Finn doesn't want Dylan to mope around. You have a beautiful life. You just need to reclaim it. Will and Elektra will help with that, they say. As the episode nears its conclusion, Bill leaves Liam mid-sentence at Spencer to check on Katie. At that very moment, she is forced to remind Brooke and Ridge of her qualifications for her job, even her stint as CEO. She isn't hearing any support whatsoever from her sister, who is all into new PR rep Robin's firm. It's not personal, Ridge says, it's just business. Back at the beach house, Elektra reiterates that she wants to help Dylan, and Will reiterates how awesome his girlfriend is. They can't wait for Luna to be nothing but a distant memory. Will suggests they never even speak of her again. Yes, please, make that happen. Elektra agrees, but can they really keep to their pact? Yes, please. Dare we hope? At the Cliff House, Finn and Steffi reiterate all that Dylan has been through and how they all have to move forward. The lunacy has consumed us for too long, understates the doc. He doesn't have any more feelings to process because his wife is amazing, beautiful, talented, etc., etc. I never knew I could love like this till I laid eyes on you. Finally, at Forrester, Brooke frets over how upset Katie was. Ridge has no bleeps to give. Alone with Bill, Katie explains how an outside PR team has usurped her position in like a week. And as for Brooke and Ridge, they completely disregarded me, she marvels. Bill's take? They're idiots. Seeing his opening, Bill once again suggests that his powerhouse partner walk away from Forrester and its scandals. They should be on their knees thanking you. The good news is you can give Forrester the boot. Come with me and your true family company. Yup, sure looks like Katie's out of there. At Spencer Publications, the air was thicker than usual. Bill's intensity practically hummed through the office walls. He had just hung up on a call with his legal team, still seething from the disrespect Katie endured at Forrester. Liam watched his father pace the room like a caged lion. She built their public image from nothing, Bill muttered. How do they repay her? By sidelining her in favor of some upstart PR guru with a shiny proposal deck. Liam leaned against the edge of the desk, arms folded. Dad, maybe it's not about disrespect. Maybe Forrester is just evolving. Businesses change. Bill whipped around, eyes blazing. Evolving? You don't evolve by discarding your legacy. You don't evolve by tossing out the mother of your child like yesterday's press release. Liam sighed. Okay, so what do you want to do about it? Bill's answer came like thunder. I'm bringing Katie home.
To her real family.
To Spencer. Meanwhile, Katie sat in her car in the Forrester Creations parking lot, hands gripping the steering wheel. Her knuckles were white. Her mind echoed with Brooke's carefully modulated voice. We just think Robin's firm is better positioned right now. That after everything she'd given to Forrester. After every late night, every headline crisis, every rebrand she steered to safety. She felt like a ghost in a place she once commanded. In the rearview mirror, she caught sight of Bill approaching, already halfway across the lot. He was still in his business armor, power suit, confidence turned to 11, but when he opened the door and got in beside her, there was a softness in his voice. I told Liam, Bill said, they're fools. You built their brand from scratch. You've been the shield, the sword, and the strategist.
And now?
They just replace you. Katie didn't respond right away. She stared ahead, eyes glossed with betrayal. It's not just that they chose someone else, Bill. It's that my own sister stood there and let them. She's not your competition, Bill said gently. She's your blind spot. Katie exhaled shakily. I'm not sure what's worse, that Brooke supported Robin or that Ridge acted like I was a stubborn intern. Bill reached over and gently took her hand. Come home, Katie. You don't need to prove yourself to them anymore. Come to Spencer. We're family. We need you. There was again that offer. But this time, something inside her shifted. At the Cliff House, Finn stared out at the ocean. The waves crashed rhythmically, but his heart was anything but calm. Dylan's confession still echoed in his mind. She had taken a life, albeit accidentally, and yet his emotions weren't as black and white as they should be. Steffi entered the room quietly, setting down 2 mugs of herbal tea. She joined him, sitting close enough to touch, but allowing space. You don't have to pretend you're okay, she said softly. I'm not, Finn admitted. But I also don't want to be consumed by it. Dylan's remorse is real. Her pain is tangible. Steffi nodded. She's broken, Finn. But I saw something else in her eyes today. She wants redemption. She wants to fix herself. And maybe we let her. He looked at his wife, admiration in his gaze. You always see the humanity in people. I try, she replied. But Dylan's story isn't over. Neither is Luna's. And neither is ours. At the beach house, Electra sat beside Dylan, who hadn't moved from the couch in hours. Will had gone to get lunch, hoping food would coax her out of her guilt spiral. You're not a monster, Electra said for the 10th time. I feel like one, Dylan whispered. You made a mistake, Electra insisted. A horrible, tragic mistake. But you didn't mean to kill her. And every day since you've owned it. That counts for something. Dylan turned, her expression wrecked with emotion. But people like Luna don't get second chances. Why should I? Electra didn't flinch. Because you're still here. And if you're still here, then you owe it to yourself and to her memory to do better. We'll return then, setting down paper bags on the counter. We got your favorite, he said, trying for cheer. From that place near the yoga studio you hate. Dylan almost smiled. Almost. Back at Forrester, Brooke stared at her phone. Katie hadn't responded to her messages. Ridge, seated nearby sketching a design, looked up. She'll come around, he offered. She might not, Brooke admitted. This isn't just a disagreement, Ridge. This cut deep. She felt invisible. Ridge set down his pencil. Then maybe we fix it.
How?
Brooke asked. Robin's team is already installed. We can't just fire them. Why not? Ridge challenged. If Katie is ready to return, maybe it's not about business. Maybe it's about what's right. At that moment, Bill barged in unannounced. His presence, as always, electrified the room. You want to talk about what's right? He snapped. Try this. You don't discard Katie Logan like some bad investment. You don't turn your backs on loyalty.
Brooke stood, stunned. Bill. No. You don't get to bill me.
You don't get to play Switzerland here. Katie deserved better from you, Brooke. And from you, Ridge. If this company had any real values, it'd be on its knees begging her to stay. Ridge raised a brow. Is this the part where you sweep her away to Spencer? Already done, Bill said, defiant. She's coming home. And for the record, she's not just the mother of my child. She's the soul of any brand she touches. You just handed us the best gift Spencer's had in years. Later, Katie walked into her new corner office at Spencer Publications. The plaque on the door already read, Vice President of Strategy and Public Affairs. Liam greeted her with flowers. Welcome back, Katie. We missed you. Katie smiled genuinely. I think I miss me too. She stood at the window, looking out over the city skyline. Her past at Forrester would always sting, but something about this view felt like freedom. Back at the Cliff House, Finn watched Hayes play in the sand. Steffi joined him, wrapping her arm around his waist. We're healing, she said. We are, Finn agreed. Even Dylan? He nodded. Especially Dylan. And for the first time in what felt like months, peace felt possible. Katie settled into her role at Spencer Publications faster than even she had expected. Within 48 hours, she'd launched a new crisis communications protocol, reorganized 3 key divisions, and scheduled a branding summit that brought the company's scattered departments into alignment. It felt like breathing again after being underwater for too long. But as Katie found her footing, Forrester Creation stumbled. Robin's PR initiative, launched with much fanfare, began to unravel under scrutiny. The Centerpiece campaign, a celebrity-heavy rebranding strategy for the upcoming couture line, was derailed after one of the celebrity endorsers was caught in a media scandal. Suddenly, Ridge and Brooke found themselves playing defense on every major news outlet, and Robin's team floundered without Katie's steady hand to navigate the storm. At the same time, inside Spencer, Bill couldn't help but beam with satisfaction. Watching Katie thrive again reminded him why he'd fallen in love with her in the first place. Katie, he said one morning, standing in the doorway to her new office, you make this place better. You make me better. Katie looked up from her laptop and gave him a wry smile. I'm flattered. But let's not pretend this doesn't benefit you too. Bill chuckled. Guilty as charged. But I mean it. There was a brief pause. Warm but complicated. I'm not ready for more, Katie said gently, reading between the lines. And I'm not rushing, Bill replied. I'm just grateful to have you here. As my partner, however you define it. Meanwhile, back at Forrester, tension crackled in the air. Brooke paced the office, phone in hand, voice tight. No, we can't comment until we see the final report. Yes, I'm aware of the optics. Thank you. She hung up and turned to Ridge, who had just walked in. The press is circling like vultures. They want to know why we're still aligned with Robin after the Bennett affair. Ridge rubbed his temple. Robin swore she vetted all the talent. This isn't her fault. No, Brooke snapped. But it's our problem. And Katie would have seen it coming. There it was, the truth they'd both been avoiding. Ridge didn't respond. Instead, he walked to the window and stared out in silence. It was a rare moment where even he couldn't spin a crisis into a fashion metaphor. At the Cliff House, Dylan was on the back patio, her knees pulled up to her chest, blanket wrapped tightly around her shoulders. Electra brought out tea and sat beside her. You're improving, Electra said. You even brushed your hair today. Dylan cracked a faint smile. Small wins. You don't have to be fixed overnight. I'm not sure I'll ever be fixed. You're not broken, Electra said. You're healing. Inside, Will stood at the kitchen island, scrolling through his phone. But his attention wasn't on social media. He was watching the way Electra looked at Dylan, patient, gentle, devoted. It sparked something in him, a mixture of admiration and fear. Later that afternoon, Katie received a delivery at Spencer, a sleek black box wrapped in a blue velvet ribbon. Inside was a single envelope and a silver pen. The card read, "If Forrester can't recognize a queen, Spencer will."
B.
Katie rolled her eyes affectionately. Classic Bill. But her smile faded when her assistant knocked and said, "Brooke Logan is on line 2. Katie's fingers hovered above the receiver. After a pause, she picked it up. "Brooke." "I'm sorry," Brooke said without preamble. Katie blinked. "You're what?" "I was wrong. About Robin.
About you.
About everything. I let Ridge talk me into playing it safe, and in the process, I lost my sister's trust." Katie's throat tightened. She wasn't expecting an apology. "I can't undo the past," Brooke continued, "but I want to make things right. Come back. Be our PR lead again." Katie was silent for a moment before saying softly, "You know I can't."
Brooke sighed.
"You belong here." "No," Katie replied. "I belong where I'm respected." As she hung up, Katie felt a strange pang of sadness, not because she missed Forrester, but because she no longer needed it to validate her worth. Back at the beach house, Will sat with Dylan, watching her sketch in a notebook, simple lines, raw emotion on paper. "I didn't know you could draw," he said. "I didn't either," Dylan whispered. "It just helps." "Good," Will said, smiling. "You need something of your own. Something that brings you back to life." Then, without warning, he leaned in and kissed her. Dylan froze, her eyes wide. "Will," she said, pulling back. "I'm sorry," he said quickly. "I thought." "I can't," Dylan said, voice shaking.
Not now.
"Not with you." Will stood up, embarrassed. "Of course. I get it." But Dylan saw it, the flash of hurt behind his bravado. Will had been her champion, but he wasn't her healing. She needed to stand on her own. Meanwhile, at Forrester, Ridge called an emergency board meeting. The PR backlash was threatening investor confidence, and they needed a reset. "Robin's firm is out," Ridge said firmly. "We'll take the hit, but we can't keep bleeding reputation points." "And who replaces them?" one executive asked. Ridge hesitated. That's when Brooke spoke up. "I've reached out to Katie. She said no." Gasps rippled through the room. "She chose Spencer," Brooke said. "And frankly, I can't blame her." That evening, Bill and Katie had dinner on the rooftop of Spencer Tower. The skyline sparkled, a reflection of her new clarity. "I never thought I'd leave Forrester," Katie admitted. "It was a part of my identity for so long. And now," Bill asked, "I'm starting to see that I don't need anyone else's name to define my value. I'm Katie freaking Logan." Bill raised his glass. "To reinvention." They clinked glasses, and for once, Katie didn't feel like she was looking back. At the Cliff House, Finn and Steffi had Dylan over for dinner. Hayes drew pictures while the adults talked. "You look lighter," Finn said. "I feel possible," Dylan replied. Steffi smiled. "Then maybe it's time to start building again." Dylan nodded. "I think I'd like that." Later that night, Will stood on the beach alone, staring at the stars. Electra joined him. "She turned you down," Electra said gently. "Yeah," Will replied. "She should have." "She's not ready." "Neither am I," he admitted. "Not really." Electra slipped her hand into his. "Then maybe we heal too." Back at Spencer, Katie sat at her desk one last time before heading home. She opened her laptop and began drafting her first company-wide address. "We don't become powerful by being chosen. We become powerful by choosing ourselves."
She hit send.
And as the message rippled through Spencer's staff, one thing became clear. Katie Logan was not returning to Forrester. She had built something new, and it was just getting started.